Welcome to episode 111 of Both Down, the number one Blood Bowl podcast.
From the stadium of Bogenhofen Barons.
That was terrible.
Well, so, who cares?
You should have made up a stadium. We're fluffy.
Well, I don't know. It's probably going to be in there. I don't want to just lie.
It's okay.
The Bogenhofen Bog.
There you go.
The Barrel Stadium. The Barrel. It's the Barrel.
How you doing, Steve?
Who are you?
I'm Scott Prime, and with me is Steve, who I just asked, how are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm pretty salty right now.
Oh, yes. We all know those salty tears.
No, I'm not salty for the reason you might think.
I'm thinking fumble.
We're then you are correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just...
Three games in a row, my friend. Because of COVID, I have to play all my Blood Bowl now online.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have Blood Bowl 2. And I don't plan on getting a computer to run Blood Bowl 2 because they'll probably just upgrade it one day and I'll have to buy the next Blood Bowl.
Right.
Nobody likes doing that, right? Nobody likes change. So I've been playing Fumble. Had a great season over in the Iowa League. Had a good season in our last Blood Bowl League for our locals or semi-locals. And, made it to the finals. Got whooped by Michael. But I played round 2 of playing Chance in my Iowa League or whatever.
Yeah.
And he throttled me. Like, it was 2-1, so like it seemed on paper like it was close, but it really was like me trying to dodge into a cage to hope to get lucky, to hit the ball out, and then get lucky and pick up the ball.
I know that exact feeling. What team were you playing?
I was playing my Amazon teams versus his orcs.
Yeah, I played my High Elf team against his orcs. And
in the second season?
Mm-hmm. So I did join the Critical Hit for the second season.
Okay.
And yeah, I go up against Chance round 1 with his orcs, and man, I took 2 extra apothecaries, and I needed all of them, and I still have 3 missed next games.
Yeah, because his team Fumble loves Mighty Blow.
That it does.
I mean, absolutely loves Mighty Blow more than any incarnation of the game I've ever seen or played.
Yeah,
it just says, "Oh, Mighty Blow, you must need to hurt somebody."
Mm-hmm. He had me down to I think 3 players at the end.
Yeah, I was playing like with 5 in my Amazons versus orcs.
I have 8 armor.
Yeah, well,
although you have dodge, so that helps.
I have dodge, yeah.
I have.
So,
God, high elves suck so much out of a million.
Yeah. So he beat me 2-1. He went on to the finals. He got beat by Tim Lyons, I think 2-0.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I decided to play. So I got beat 2-1. It was still kind of respectable, even though there was no real chance. He even said I got diced.
Mm-hmm.
Then I played week 1. I took a new team only because I think there's 10 teams, and like I didn't want to deal with giving inducements to 7 of the players I play or whatever, or 6 or whatever it was. So I went ahead and just drew a new team because Tim also told me, like, if we play this league long enough, if I ever get Amazons randomly again, then I can bring back my old Amazons. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I don't like retiring teams.
Yeah.
And I like my fluff and stuff for him. Anyways, played Drew, his Kimry, unskilled Kimry. You know how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1 versus some pro elves. Probably advantage me, right? I got
to win, sure, but not to survive.
Oh, I didn't win or survive. He just throttled me. I think I get beat 2-0, maybe. I don't even remember. It was bad, like really bad. I think it was 2-1. I take that back. It was 2-1. I still got really throttled. Like everybody who scored star player points also took permanent injuries.
Jeez.
So therefore you don't want them to get the MVP because he has an armor break or
Right.
I mean, that was like, I think my blitzer has an armor break and then like my catcher has a move break. And it's just like, dude, you killed my season. I have a
Yeah.
bunch of linemen and like a thrower. So I had I had a 2 out of 3 chance of getting the MVP to a guy so I could get a skill. And of course I failed that and went to the one guy that would matter. So I got beaten that game. I was so mad that I even talked to Tim Lyons about just, can we restart teams? Because they've mentioned that on the 3.Block podcast.
Sure.
And he said, yeah, I think we could probably do that. Because I was just like, my team's toast. I don't have no skill positions left and no
Yeah.
permanent injuries. So I decided today, I just messaged him and said, I'll suffer. It's week 1. I'll suffer. This happens to people. We'll just see what happens. It'll be my own personal challenge.
Sure.
Today, in our Oklahoma Blood Bowl League, with a lot of the local guys, I played the Ogre team versus Mike Henry team. I have a lot of block, some tackle. I got 4 strength, but he gets the kickoff, so he gets to hit me first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Fumble said, oh, you have Mighty Blow. All right, you knocked that guy down, he's out. Oh, yeah, you got Mighty Blow. You knocked this guy, he's out. And I got destroyed. Really, it should have been 2-0, but he was stalling with an Ogre.
Yeah.
Because the Ogre at one point blitzed my ball carrier. He hit my ball carrier, and the ball bounced right to him, and he picked it up, and he kept on running.
Of course. Yeah.
He was stalling, and I threw a 2-die block uphill, and I got it. That's the only reason. Anyways,
of this,
I got whooped. Three games in a row is my point. Is like,
yeah,
and each one more worse than the last. So like
my season, I just started High Elves, went against very skilled orcs that dominated me, and then a Chaos team that also dominated me. And then I play you next. So I'm hoping your team doesn't get all its people back and sucks some. But yeah, all that negativity, and eventually we need to still play our championship game, and then you'll just win that.
Oh, I hope so. In our league, the Oklahoma League, I played the number 1 seed next, who's full of nothing but guard and dwarves, and it's like good gravy. I'm in trouble.
That's fun.
I'm struggling, but losing games is one thing, but lose 3 in a row where it progressively gets worse is bad. And the guy I was playing today, I threw, I think, 4 blocks against Noblar Black Orc or whatever, Black Wart,
yeah.
Yeah, the Chainsaw Goblin. And every time I would either hit him with a both down, but he has block, or I'd push him. And at one point, after 4 turns, the guy I was playing goes, "You're really trying to knock him down, aren't you?" And I was so mad. You remember how you told me you were hovering over the button because you were just done?
Oh, yeah. That did happen on one of my games.
To just quit?
Mm-hmm.
I looked for the button, and then I just tried to answer back in sarcastic humor by saying, "No, really, all I really wanted to do is push him, and I'm really happy." And then I waited, and I was like, "Of course I want to knock him down. Why would I not? He has a chainsaw." And then the guy said a few other things, and then I just get irate because of all the bad luck. And
Scott is not a good trash talk taker.
And no,
Even on Rocket League.
I told him, I was like, stunty teams need the other team to roll some bad things, and they need to roll some good things. That's like the big key for stunty a lot of times, right? And I said, just enjoy your moment. You're getting what you need. Enjoy it. And he's like, "I'm sorry if I'm making you mad." And I said, "Just enjoy your moment." But the mean guy in me was like, "Why would you trash talk the guy who runs the league? I might kick you out."
Because he knows you won't.
I won't, but I was really salty and mad. Yeah. I wanted to quit that game really bad. It was really hard to just try to finish the game.
I understand. I've been there.
There was just nothing I could do.
And for whatever reason, fumble feels worse. I don't know why.
I think it's just because you're not rolling dice. I mean,
yeah.
I've had I've had a good streak of a lot of good fumble games, but boy, these last three are really bad, and I'm probably going to get the fourth loss in a row with when I face John's Dwarfs team. So, anyways, yeah, I'm pretty salty.
I gotcha. So, is there anything else exciting happening in the world of Blood Bowl right now?
Well, I think we're going to talk about it in our segment.
Yeah.
Remember all those cards you bought, and you thought, well, at least they're cool cards I could use.
Okay.
Actually, we'll that's foreshadowing. I'll tell you more about that later.
Let's just get to the next segment.
All right, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this theoretical, now proven, Blood Bowl 2020 edition. Scott Prime here. Just wanted to let everybody know Wizards Asylum Comics and Games in Norman is your go-to place during this crazy quarantine COVID-19 time period. Wizards Asylum is still doing mail orders for you guys. You can reach them at Wizards Asylum Comics and Games in Norman on Facebook. You can also go to wizardsnorman.com, talk to Brian Alcorn, have him send you some pictures of the products. He'll wrap them up, get them ready to ship for you so you can have something fun to do while you're sitting at home.
We're back, and yes, we are talking about Blood Bowl 2020. It's real, it's coming, we've seen leaks, and we're like the fourth or fifth podcast, YouTube show, or whatever to talk about it because we're one day behind.
Yeah, everybody jumped on this, which they should have. I mean, it's important.
Yeah, and if you heard us last episode, you know, we have good things to say about GW, and we have bad things to say about GW, so...
This really kind of goes par for course for 2020, right? I mean, like, didn't we almost have like a comet hit us?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Other things, and you know that joke with the memes that like every month it's like it's sand sharks and the murder hornets and
yeah.
know,
I'm not that negative on it.
All right, I will talk about my negativity. My negativity as we go through what we perceive to know. I will say I'm not opposed, no matter what I say going forward. Right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not opposed to change. I'm not opposed to rules being totally, start over. Let's get something clean and fresh for a new age. I mean, Blood Bowl, in essence, has kind of stayed the same with the core mechanics for 26 years.
Long time.
And really, from what I can tell, it's going to stay fairly the same for the next couple of years. Now, my problem will come if, one, this new rule book has errors.
Yeah.
And two, it really has been play tested. If I would love anybody out in the world, and you know who I'm talking to if you listen to this podcast, if you work for them and you will just secretly message me and say, dude, we have been working on this for 2.5 years. The rumors were true. We wanted to do this back in 2016, but we thought we'd keep it the same because we didn't want to rock the boat with the community. I'm really cool with this.
So according to GW's post, they have spent plenty of time play testing it with internal play testers and external play testers, some of the higher names in Blood Bowl.
That's what they've been telling us.
It's not us. That's fine. We're not that great, so I don't blame them. But I will give them big shout-outs because it leaked yesterday as of when we're recording, and today they had a whole presentation ready to go. The video and the announcement that they both put out referred to previous editions, like 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition, Blood Bowl 16, and now Blood Bowl 2020.
Right.
So in that view, it makes you go, yeah, change always does happen, and it's not necessarily bad. If you didn't know about the previous versions and you just knew about 2016, it might feel worse. Now, right off the bat, if this was the 2016 release, I would have felt better about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's only because no other products come out. That's a
Sure.
lot where our problem comes in. So I think to keep this on track, someone on Reddit has been keeping track of a thread and all the information, what's changed. So I think we're just going to go through that because a lot of people have
And
already seen it, and we're just going to
I
go in order.
know it looks like it's posted by the notorious JTB,
Yeah.
or he's the moderator or anything.
No,
But
he
so we
posted it.
want to. So, anyways, yeah, let's just go through the changes from this thread and kind of what we've heard and seen ourselves, because there's a whole bunch of pictures were
Yeah.
leaked.
So first
Um,
off, let's talk about the visual aspect of it. I think it looks awesome. You know, I think the book looks really cool, and when I saw the box, I loved it. Like the box, for whatever reason, really made me want the game.
I mean, it looks like I'm going to say this a lot because I feel like a lot of these changes feel very second edition like.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, and it's heavily influenced by the second edition box cover, if you ask me,
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
or typically maybe a lot of the Blood Bowl box covers over the years, because they've all kind of traditionally had the human and orc standing off,
Mm-hmm.
or Morgan, Griff, or whoever.
And this is for sure Imperial humans and what we suspect to be savage orcs, although we're not sure. They haven't said anything, so it's not ruled out, but it's also not ruled in.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Imperial humans, savage orcs. Is it possible? So we haven't seen any stats that I know of. Is that true?
Not for the new release. Both teams existed prior on the Blood Bowl app,
Right.
but because I think at that point it was human nobility, and now it's Imperial, which I like
Okay.
better. But I don't think that that's going to stick because they had some broken pieces. I'm assuming
Okay.
that's not going to be the same.
So my theory, and it's based on nothing but maybe like my hope,
Mm-hmm.
is that the Imperial humans maybe are just their way of getting Bretonians in.
I would like that. Yeah. Use those
Does that
similar rules.
okay? So use a lot of those rules, or they might change something here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying overall, like this is their way of getting Bretonians in. And that would kind of make sense with savage orcs, even though I don't think we need more humans or orcs. But savage orcs with a bunch of frenzy could be corn,
I
or
hadn't
what
thought
were
about that.
similar,
Yeah.
what were very similar, with corn and
That would be awesome. Like if instead of a bloodthirster, it had like a savage troll. So
could
it's just
so
a little bit stronger and everything. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
it could now. What we've seen in the pictures, it looks like there's goblins on that team for sure,
Yeah.
and trolls. And the
And again,
Imperial humans look like they have a ogre.
and they have Griff. So
Right.
Griff appears to be in the box as well.
Right. I do think the sculpts look really nice.
They do, and those paint jobs they got look great.
Yeah, I saw those today. They released that. I think it's good, but here we go. Here we go once again. Not complaining because I know they want us to buy 2 box sets to get all the positionals,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they're all there, or they want us to go to
We don't
Forge
know.
World again. I just wish there was a full 16-person roster in the box. Just charge us a little more.
Yeah.
And move on.
And
But
we don't know what the cost of anything is. We don't know what's going to be included in the box. We do know now officially the rules are separate. So
if I had to theorize, I bet this is going to be 150.
I was going to say 120, and the rules are probably 60 or something.
What was the last one? 100?
100.
Okay, this might be 120 then.
Yeah.
It
A little bit
looked
more.
like there was a ref model as well.
Yeah,
on the
yeah, they
sideline,
did
so.
appear to be one, but it was a different color. So I think it was blue. So I just
Sure.
assumed that was not. But again, we've not seen a blue ref before, so who knows?
Right.
No idea at all. Overall, though, visually, I do like it. The pitch is a callback to second edition. Yeah, the sidelines do appear smaller now, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had like the double skulls in the middle, if I remember
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm not opposed to this.
Oh, and the dice.
I
Translucent
didn't
red and translucent green.
red again.
Like the ones we bought, the ones that they said
Uh-huh.
would never come out of print.
Okay.
It's those
We're getting those
translucent
again.
red. We think. Who knows?
Oh,
And
okay.
they also had translucent green, same type. So
Okay.
that looked cool. If that is what we get.
Um, do you want to just go over this list top to
Yeah.
bottom, and then we'll
Yeah.
add in our other stuff? That way we don't skip around like
Yeah.
an old Blood Bowl rule book.
Well, sure. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, we touched on the visuals because that's not listed here, I don't think. Because this is really the rule changes. And if you
Okay.
don't know, which I don't know how you don't know, but it's possible, we've seen a lot of different rules that have changed. We haven't seen everything. So a lot of this is conjecture. We don't know how stuff works together, but we'll figure it out.
Well, I'm hearing. I've had many people talk to me, including friends and then friends of the podcast who heard this and heard that. So I don't
Yep.
know if like any of this stuff is true
Yeah.
or if it's in theory or what they assume.
So the first big thing, the big change, we have a new stat, PA, which we assume is for
Yes,
passing.
right, a passing skill.
Mm-hmm.
So what this looks like it does is your Skaven thrower. We're going to use this example because it's everywhere in the what has been leaked.
Yeah.
The Skaven thrower, who is kind of useless, right? Like if you're going to really compete, you just have
True.
a lot of gutter runners.
Yeah.
Like at a tournament. The Skaven thrower now is excellent at passing, while the gutter runners really suck at passing.
Yeah.
So
And
agility,
I think it's neat. I think let's just talk more about it first before we talk.
okay. So every player has a passing skill. It
Sort of.
really doesn't look like much has changed, except like some positions are better at throwing than others. So
Yeah.
now Tom Brady is a better passer than one of his linemen,
Which makes sense.
without the skills, obviously.
Yeah.
This this feels like a big second edition thing because when I got into Blood Bowl way back when, second edition, we had a passing skill.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was called a throwing skill. And it would be like if somebody was terrible at throwing, it'd be like -1, -2.
Yeah.
And if they were good or okay, it was 0, and then +1, +2. Like elves had +2 on throwing for like a thrower.
So,
And
and like for halflings, they showed halflings as well. Previously, what was it? The halfling hopeful? Wait, no.
or hefty.
The hefty. The hefty who had passing access. And we're
Mhm.
like, well, that's weird. Not that much different. Well, now the hefties can throw on a 3+, and the catchers throw on a 5+, and regular guys on a 4+. Also, that's how they list stuff now. Instead of us having an agility and then having to do the base 7 of 3 plus no one's there, so it's +1. So I have a 4, I need 7, so I need a 3. Instead of all of that, now it's just you need a 4+. There you go.
Or like in the thrower, I think for a 0 pass, it looks like passes are there's no +1s. It's just 0, -1, -2,
And -3.
and -3.
Right, that's another change. And a lot of these changes appear to me, at least, to be changes for the better to help new people understand the rules. And I think it's great. I think that part is no problem at all. Now, I thought
Well,
you wanted to bring up the passing point of rat ogres and mummies and zombies.
yeah. I don't have a problem with this. Here's what I guess I'm worried about. And I'm sure this won't change. I assume it won't at all. I still want the 1 to always be a failure, no matter how many positives you have.
Of course.
And I want a 6 to be a success.
Yeah.
What I noticed in some of the pictures with the undead team that I haven't heard anybody else mention is like I believe it was a rat ogre had like just a slash for his passing skill. The mummy and the zombie also had a slash. Now you say, oh yeah, really, Scott, how often are you going to pass with these guys? I want the option, not because I'm going to use it, but I want Blood Bowl to, I want every player to have that option. And
Now,
if the mummy needs now in those cases, if the stats are blank
mhm.
and they say you only need a 6, you have to get a 6 to succeed, which we don't have the rule book. I'll be okay with this. But
No,
I do.
because the mummy for like dodging is 5+. Although I guess, I mean, we haven't seen any 6+s, so it's possible.
I'm saying I hope they don't take this away. Only because I think it's you don't get it often. You
Right.
might get it 1 out of 1,000 chance where like there's nothing else I could do. I have my mummy with break tackle. He's the only guy who could pick up the
Yeah.
ball. And I break away, I pick up the ball, and I throw a long ball. I rolled 2 6s in a row.
Sure.
And I had a zombie who caught it on a 4. And then I moved forward and I did 2 go for it, and I ended up tying the game. It was amazing.
To
I
me,
don't want those moments to go away.
this is the exact opposite of Weeping Dagger. Weeping Dagger was put in because it's on the figure. No one liked it. Everyone was complaining. Has nothing to do with anything. It's just on the figure. It's dumb. Blah, blah, blah. This is fluff driving the rules. The fluff, I mean, so far, Rat Ogre, Mummy, Zombie. Brainless creatures who don't care about the ball. 100%. If you want skeletons, they can do it, because they're being controlled. Zombies don't care about the ball. Mummies don't care about the ball. Rat Ogre is as soon to eat the ball as to carry it. So I'm cool with it. Like, again, it is a change. It's weird. It is going to reduce your ability to do certain things. I don't think it's hurting the team that much, but it is 100% fluff.
You can take that side and enjoy it. I'm just saying I don't like that option.
Okay. Well, again, fluff. I mean, we preach fluff, and
Sure.
they're doing it.
Well, fluff. The old rules also prove the fluff of like, okay, this mummy's going to try it, and he doesn't give 2 shits.
Yeah.
He tramples over the ball and it scatters.
Right.
I mean, like you can make the fluff say whatever it wants. The same necromancer that controls that skeleton controls that mummy.
No.
I will adapt. No.
They don't, do they?
I don't know.
I don't think necromancers control the mummy or zombies. I think they control the skeletons. I don't know. We're getting into the weeds. It doesn't really matter.
Sure.
So either way you look at it, I can understand it. I get your point.
Yeah, I just don't want games to be like, oh, I have 11 guys. Where like you go mark guys just to make it a little bit harder for dice rolls and stuff. Now you don't have to do that if these guys can't even have the option. I just think it's silly to get that option at all. Just to get rid of it.
The Doom Diver does have a 6+ for passing. So that negates your idea that a dash is just 6+.
Okay, well.
So a dash means they cannot pass.
That is probably safe to assume.
The Looney and the Fanatic both cannot pass, which I'm fine with.
I really hate that. So that's going to be my first complaint about this. And I mean, it's
a big difference. I don't know that it's huge. I think it's interesting.
30 plus years of playing this game, right?
Yeah.
So
I gotcha. So if we go back to passing, like you said, another thing is the quick pass is 0 now instead of +1. So I like that. We haven't seen anything for dodging, I don't believe. So I'm pretty sure now dodging is not going to give you the +1. It's probably just going to. It might. I don't know. I'm not going to say that.
You think all dodges are going to be harder?
I don't know. As I'll say, it might just give you the. As I'll say, for ease of understanding, it might be taking that away, but it doesn't seem to reflect that in the agility, so I don't know.
Right.
Also, passing now happens before the interception roll, which makes a lot of people happy. I'm not a huge fan, but I think if it's written well, it should be fine. And there's 4 different pass results. So we have accurate, inaccurate, which we think is 1 scatter, wildly inaccurate, which people question that, but I don't think it is.
3.
I think it is 3.
Okay.
The wildly inaccurate, I think, fumbles from the thrower, and that's a 1 after modifiers, and then a fumble is a natural 1. So not much different, except now if you have 1 because of modifiers, it's going to be wildly inaccurate from you instead of just a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
And passes can be intercepted or deflected, or I believe interference, something along those lines. We don't know what that is yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably just try to make it a little bit harder.
Which is an old skill from second edition. There was like a distract skill. You know, you're putting your hands in the air and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, let's see. The passing status improved for the thrower and versus other positionals. So, we
Yeah.
kind of already talked about this, but the Skaven thrower is going to have a 2+. And if he's throwing a quick pass, you're thinking like, well, that's really going to be easy. Well, it's the same way if you were throwing a quick pass with him before.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to get the +1 and you just need a 3 or better, right? Isn't that how that worked before? You only need 3.
Well, he needed a 3.
I guess it is
yeah.
still a little bit easier.
It is easier. But again,
Oh.
it makes use out of passing. A lot of these changes appear to try to make passing more balanced. Because we've known for the longest time, and that's one of the flaws in the game, I've always thought, is passing's not really viable. It's still not the greatest idea, probably, because there's a lot more dice rolls, but this could at least change it up some to where it becomes viable, which changes the dynamic of the game.
So, like the Skaven throwers are 2+. Skaven linemen and gutter runners are 4+, and the Skaven blitzers 5+.
Yeah.
So, this is going to, for sure, make throwers very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
On
if you want to pass.
Because, well, I mean, sometimes you need to pass.
Agreed.
I think, honestly, Steve, I think this is going to hurt the overall. This is going to make throwers more important, besides like taking a guy that can get leader really quick.
Yeah.
It's going to make throwers more important, but I think it's going to make passes more difficult for most teams. I really believe that.
Well, it's possible. We shall see.
Because, I mean, now if you get a Skaven lineman with a +1 agility, you're not going to have like a new guy that's a better thrower. You know how you sometimes mold players into
absolutely
things.
Yeah, if someone gets a 4 agility, like, okay, the ball handle, because they can pass and throw and pick up the ball easier. Yeah, so it's not the way it is now.
I think there'll be less passing than you think, but we'll wait and see.
Right. Next big change is related to the kickoff table. Seems like fame is gone. So
from what we can tell, yes,
there's no fame anymore, which I'm okay with because it was kind of confusing. I mean, it makes sense if you're an old player and you know what you're doing, but it's kind of a little confusing stat.
And at the same time, if it's explained properly, it's not.
Right, but it didn't really come into play much.
I disagree, but
okay.
That's okay. I think it's weird though, which makes me wonder if there's any attendance at all now. We just assume that a big crowd comes to every game.
Yeah, it's probably just for fun because you still have fan factor, I think.
Do we know that for sure?
Was
that on some of those pictures?
I don't know.
I don't remember the picture.
Doesn't matter.
On my computer. Okay.
We'll find out later. But yeah, they've changed up some stuff, which obviously the biggest ones are blitz and perfect defense. Perfect defense is now solid defense. And quick snap. Also, they all work on D3+3 unmarked players.
Yeah, we got this new term called unmarked.
No, that's the same. It just means you're not in the tackle zone of someone else.
I know, but I've seen many times they keep saying unmarked versus like in a tackle zone.
Oh, okay.
So I really wonder if this is like a word they're trying to really use, which actually is more clear to new players.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't have a problem with that. I guess I don't like these, and yet I don't like the old ones.
I like these so much better than the old ones. I hated perfect defense so much.
Well, hold on.
I don't think this changes it too much.
I think perfect defense and quick snap are perfect for this. The D3+3 I think are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Perfect defense, from what I read in another article today. Oh, you already said it. Unmarked players. So that means your line, your initial line is already set up, and you
Yeah,
can't do anything about it.
which makes
I
sense to
don't.
me.
I don't like this for the blitz action, and here's why. Blitz is very game breaking and hurtful, and yet sometimes you do everything you can. For example, you push to score and you try something
Hmm.
because you need to get a win at a tournament. And then you go to that kickoff table and you're just praying for a blitz to try to to get the right kick, to get under the ball first. And you just hope that just Lady Luck is on your side. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And if you're on the receiving end, you hate blitz. And if you're on the,
Yeah.
and if it happened for you, you feel blessed. But it makes for a big impact play in Blood Bowl, like you see rarely in sports. And I think you're going to take that away.
So
I don't know if I like that.
I don't think it's changing it that much because, again, you have to have 3 people on the line. Those people are normally touching someone anyways. So now you're down to 8 people who could theoretically move.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be like totally game breaking change, but because most of the time my guys are so far back that I don't move but about 4 or 5
right,
guys in.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have changed this, even though I hate when blitz happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sticking up for something I absolutely hate.
See, and I hate perfect defense so much more. Because
I agree.
I set up to hit people, and then that's the only crowning glory I can get for that whole game. And then nope, can't do that either. It's just like, damn it.
They changing weather and brilliant coaching. They swapped their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You need assistant coaches, and you can get a reroll for that drive, is what I read. It's not for the half, it's for the drive.
Right. And I like that better.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Most drives last a few turns either way. So
yeah. My only real concern with it, it's not a concern, but it's more of a matter of I liked 7 being the middle. So then cheerleaders are on one side and coaches are on the other. So now coaches are more important than cheerleaders, when before it was equal importance.
Well, in these notes, they do not mention cheerleaders, but they talk about
it's still
rolling. There. I know it's there, but I'm saying in these notes that we're looking at. Cheerleaders, you consult a blessing of Nuffle table or something like that. Favor of Nuffle.
Do you?
That one doesn't give you a reroll. It gives you consult this table. So you're probably going to roll dice again, which is very second edition like.
Yeah. Roll once on the prayers to Nuffle table. In the case of a tie, neither coach rolls on the table. Note that if you roll a result that is currently in effect, you must re-roll it. However, if you roll a result that has been rolled previously but has since expired, there's no need to re-roll it. Okay. Yeah, didn't see that. No idea.
So here we are, very second edition style, with another crazy table to go to. I'm not against it. I'm just saying it's different.
Yeah.
I didn't think the old kickoff table had a problem giving too many extra rerolls, but whatever. This one I don't like, and I like at the same time.
Yeah.
Throw rock's been replaced by officious ref. Is that right?
Yeah.
Chance for a player to be stunned or sent off on a 1. I guess you still do this randomly.
Yeah.
It's like the player gets in an argument with a ref, and he'll either punch him in the jaw and stun him, or he'll send him off.
So it basically just means you're not dying as often. There's no chance that you're and that's fine. I mean, it's a rule change. I don't have any love for the previous one. We had our one eye in the crowd that loved throwing rocks and killing people.
Yep.
But this takes away that, but whatever. Now the one eye could be a ref, and he takes out someone every time.
And at the same time, I just think of all the memories, because we always had it in our league. It always felt like the last week of the season somebody would die.
No doubt.
And we wouldn't get that now. And I know it's just a change.
Yeah.
I don't mind like this ref thing being on there.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm
but
fine with it.
to me, it's just as bad because he gets sent off. Like,
Yeah, but he's not dead. So you don't have to rebuy him. That's huge.
sure, I get that.
That's huge.
But come on. It was fun to see like some randomness happen.
Hey.
I feel like they're taking a lot of the big momentum shift randomness out, which they probably are.
Yeah. Try to make it a little bit more even. I get that. So another one, pitch invasion, has been changed to D3 stunned on the team losing a roll-off.
I don't like this at all. It's almost like don't even have it then.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is not D3 plus, like 3 plus a D3.
Because they don't want that many people down? I don't know.
I guess not. It just, to me, it's very, very passive. Like, it's not much at all. Is it random? Do we know? Or do they get to choose?
I don't remember. Didn't look.
Okay.
So, and also Riot is now timeout. Almost the same. It's you lose a turn unless the kicking team is on turn 6, 7, or 8. So, much easier. I can remember that no problem. If you're at the tail end of the game and you get this, the clock goes back because you called a timeout. I love it.
But the clock is never going to go forward, right?
It'll go forward on every other time.
Oh, okay.
It goes backwards on 6, 7, 8. It goes forward on 1 through 5.
Okay. I
much easier.
I see. I was reading that wrong. Okay. Yeah. I don't think the last rule was that hard to remember, but this will probably help new people.
Then why did I have to look it up every time it happened?
Because you're awesome, Steve. I had to look it up too. I'm not saying.
Well, then it's confusing and it wasn't good. We literally had to look it up every time it happened. I mean, I think it was more
we were looking it up because the other player had no clue. We didn't want to feel like we ripped him off.
Yeah, but now it's very easy to remember.
Sure. So that sums up, I think, the kickoff changes. Overall, I think they really toned this down. So if you wanted to get...
It's not as game-breaking, for sure.
I feel like it's... just takes some of that random momentum, which could be good. I could be here in a year from now when we play with the new rules saying, like, this is amazing. It's the best thing they ever did. So I'm not saying I hate it.
Yeah, there's nothing there that I hate, so I'm fine with it.
I feel like this is going to really hurt the one-turn touchdown people, too.
Oh, well, we'll get to that later.
And shoves.
Oh, that's true. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not the throwing the goblins or whatever, even though I guess that's changed.
Yeah. I don't know if is that brought up later, or should we talk about that now?
No, we'll see if we run into it, that we can just talk about the things that we...
Doesn't look like they mentioned it. So anyways, to mention it now, and maybe they did later, from what I can tell, if you're throwing someone and they land, it looks like you can throw them if they're down, so you can pick them up and throw them. I like that.
Really?
From what we can tell. And again, guys, we'll go over all this once it comes out. We'll have a big episode or whatever, but everyone wants to know. But it looks like if you throw a guy and he successfully lands, that counts as his turn. So if that's the case...
That kills stunty teams.
It kills the one-turn touchdown. There might be a skill that allows them, like right stuff. Maybe it allows them to continue moving if they land.
That's true. There could be a new skill that you want to earn.
Right. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine. I don't care. I understand, right now, it's not dead. It just appears to be on life support. So we'll have to see when the new set comes out.
Man, if that happens, though, that really, kills that big play potential for those teams as well.
It does. Not that it happened that often, but...
No, still. No, it happened more often than the mummy throwing a pass.
Yeah.
And I still want him to throw a pass.
Exactly.
But we'll see in time.
Yeah. So the next thing that they talk about are skills. So bombs were always +1, weren't they?
Catching a bomb now is riskier. Explosion works like Mighty Blow for the +1s. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't do bombs that often. But one
They
thing is,
should be riskier to catch, honestly.
yeah, some skills now have numbers associated with them. So you can have Mighty Blow 1, you can have Loner 3 plus, Loner 4 plus, etc. You know, I was talking with Drew yesterday. If they do Old World Alliance and that Loner is 2 plus, that makes that team so much better.
Sure, or even 3 plus.
Yeah. So there's a lot of new stuff like that. Pro now appears to be 3 plus, but only rerolls one die, not all of them.
What?
Yeah, I don't that seems odd. But
Okay.
we'll see. Shadowing and Tentacles work on a natural 6, which is good. Claws do not work with Mighty Blow, and only on blocks you make, apparently.
Supposedly not defensive blocks or blitz actions.
Yeah, you can do it on a blitz. A blitz is a move and a block.
A lot of other people who've reported this got this out a day earlier than us said it doesn't happen on a blitz.
Yeah, but if you read a blitz, it's a move with a block in the middle. And it
That's
says you
what
can
I
do
was
it on a
thinking
block,
too.
so
Okay.
I don't think they're right.
Okay.
Iron Hard Skin cancels Claw. It's a mutation. I don't know where this would come in handy. Like maybe a Croxagore has it. Maybe
I don't know when you would voluntarily take Iron Hard Skin.
I don't. Like I said, I don't think it's not an extraordinary skill, but maybe they don't have extraordinary skills. Although we did see projectile vomiting on the troll,
Well,
so I'm sure that's going to be an extraordinary skill.
What nobody has said at all, and I hope if we're gonna go back to second edition, oh sweet Lord, please, wouldn't it be great if we had random skills?
So there's a possibility we do. I mean, so.
Like what if you
in the French section?
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of. Let me just run through some of these other changes real quick on the rules, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay, that's fine. We can come back to that.
Yeah. We're not going to go into all. There's a ton of passing changes. We're not going to go into those until we get the book, because if you're interested, you can go look. I like a lot of the new ones, but want to see them all before we give a critique. See, Running Pass is really good. Weeping Daggers is gone from Gutter Runners, and Safe Throw now completely prevents fumbles. And there's Cloud Burst or blah blah blah.
Yeah, I heard there's a Cannoneer.
Yeah.
That works like a guy who can throw really good long bombs.
Yeah.
Or long passes.
So there's a lot of new passing skills. I don't want to get into it because, like I said, we could go a long time on that. Plus...
Dude, we have to talk about a few of them.
Why?
Because they're pretty game-changing.
Okay, go for it then.
Fumble Rooski. I can go blitz your guy. You base my catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I take my thrower, and I go up there and I blitz you. I get the assist. I roll 2 dice. I push you away. And then I continue not to follow up, but run up 2 more squares, and then I set the ball down in 1 square I was in. Then my catcher goes right by and picks it up and runs on in for the touchdown.
Sure.
Potentially, you could move the field really far, 14, or with Go For It's, 18 squares. That's a big deal because you can drop the ball and it doesn't have a turnover. There's one called Running Pass.
It's not that big of a deal, though. I mean, you still have to pick up the ball, so you're punishing yourself there. Sure. And you could hand off and throw anyways, so I don't... If you can do that and hand off and throw, that's a big deal.
How many times have we told Alan, dude, you can't
I know.
And throw the ball.
Yeah.
Well, now he can fumble Rooski it. Running pass looks pretty cool. Looks like you're able to move, throw a pass, and then move afterwards.
Yeah. I think it's only quick passes, though, right? It's like a shuttle pass.
Yes, I believe it is. It makes me wonder if dump off is gone.
It might be.
I didn't see it from the list of skills.
We have we can do the Wildcat defense now.
The Wildcat with the little, we could. On the ball is a new skill that combines kickoff return, which allowed you to move 3 squares, and pass block, which allowed you to move 3 squares and get in the way of a pass.
I love that one.
I'm fine with that. People might take it more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, funny how weeping daggers are gone. I don't, you know, I just don't know.
So we've seen mutations, we've seen
Throwing
general
skills.
and passing. We haven't seen agility skills, so we're not freaking out yet.
We have
Oh,
seen general.
yeah, we saw some.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and the Goblin team has an Hooligan now that has +1 dirty player. So that's pretty neat. So, skills.
Let's talk about those real quick.
Okay.
What do you think about the potential of a tree man who automatically comes with Mighty Blow +1? The theory is that you can build these up like Mighty Blow +2, Mighty Blow +3.
We don't know that.
We don't know yet.
Right.
But that's the ongoing theory, because this also reminds a lot of other people of second edition when
Sure.
there was levels of skills.
If they want to take that, that doesn't bother me. It's interesting. I think it's, it could be used for star players. It could just be used for, later on, different types of teams. I don't know yet.
Right.
I
mean, it does open the window that, let's say there is no level.
Mm-hmm.
But by putting the +1 there and varying it up, you could have that bloodthirster that has a +2 Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
Down the line or whatever.
So instead of getting claws, you get +2, something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know. So supposedly in the French edition that we can't read because we're not French or Quebecois, someone mentioned that, and this is a huge deal, so I'm just going to put it out and we'll talk about it at the end. It seems like you do have options. It seems like there is now primary and secondary skills instead of single and doubles, which sounds better to me. The primary are 20,000. The secondary are 40,000 if you pick them. If you do random, it's 10 and 30, supposedly. Also, someone mentioned that the strength +1 is 80k.
Really?
If that's true, makes it real interesting. But what it really does is it means that when you level, your values are going to go up real fast, which means your inducements are going to go up real fast, which means star players would need to be costed more and everything else. So I don't know if that's true. It's very weird.
I'm all for regular Blood Bowl being pick your skills, because I know so many in the community love that.
Mm-hmm.
What I would love is some type of solution for the random skills for people who want to try that.
And it's possible that was just, a variation that you could play.
Sure.
So that's why I'm not going to go deep into it. Again, it was in another language too. So
double, you're saying what we're used to as double or secondary skills would be double the cost of a regular skill.
Should have just scrolled down a little bit and it mentions it.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah. Primary skills 10 if random. Primary skill chosen 20. Secondary skill random 20. Secondary skill chosen 40. Passing ability 10k. Movement or armor 20. Agility 40. Strength 80.
Passing 10k.
But some debate on if that's actually just a fuzzy 5. So it could be 50 still, which would make more sense.
Interesting.
Don't know. Also, all the characters now can be 5,000 increments. So instead of 120, it can be 125, or instead of 70, it's 75 or 65 or whatever.
I think the mummy was 125 now, or the ghouls were 75 for sure.
Yeah, and with the addition of the passing skill and the tweaks to stuff, I think that's great. I like having that because it adds up better for inducements and such.
Sure. I'll be open-minded about it.
Yeah.
You know what I wish they would just do? I wish they would just call everything 125k 75K, 70K, 80K instead of all the, with all the zeros. Just drop all the 3 zeros.
Ew. You're a heathen. No.
No, it'd be easier for people.
Sure. It would look horrible,
I
though.
play other games and like...
It would look stupid.
Well, it might look stupid, but change the K to be something else. Make the gold crown be worth more. This mummy player is worth 125 gold crowns.
I don't like playing a team that's worth...
He's worth a lot.
I don't like playing a team that's worth 1,100 gold. I want them to be worth 1.1 million.
Jesus, dude.
No, I'm Steve.
Same thing.
Yeah, it can mean the same thing, but I like seeing it. It looks better.
You are like all the other people. I play the Dragon Ball Z Super game, and they had to put Goku at 75,000. It's like, it's
a whole different thing.
Summarize that up. You Yu-Gi-Oh crowd is all the same. You can't understand and get that there's 3 zeros.
No, I can get it. I just don't like the look of it as much.
Oh, get out of here.
Just saying.
That's fine. You wait till we check rosters again, and we know some people who will send in stuff, and they'll be off by 5K all the time.
Yeah.
And they won't do the math right because they forgot 1 0.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Casualty roles have changed. Stunties have their own injury table, so it's just worked like normal. But now the casualty chart itself,
like second edition,
is a D16.
Pretty sure they had one in second edition.
Oh, okay.
Casualty roll or injury roll.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as it was before. So the casualty chart is now a D16.
Somebody in Games Workshop said, we really don't use this D16 much, and we're getting rid of the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, let's just change this table.
Also, it's a lot easier than a D6, D8, and then figure it out. It just is.
If you're stupid.
Well, I'm not saying... Dude, I teach
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying you're right. A lot of people cannot understand how it represents the tens and ones, and that's coming from an old school gamer where I played a lot of games like this. This will probably be good for the new player. But
so it looks like there's less of a chance of death as well, so that's not too bad. And the nigglings now affect the casualty roll instead of the injury roll. So, not that big of a deal keeping them on the roster as much. Because you have to get them casualtied before it even matters.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a big difference. Because if you have 2 niggling, if he never gets knocked down and casualtied, it never comes into play.
Sure. What else we got here?
New box set and team.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if the hardback book is going to be in this box set.
No.
I mean, it looks like a second edition hardback book.
It looks like it's separate because they showed a picture of them separately.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying it's a hardcover edition of second edition. That's not true. They put a lot of hardback books out for like Warhammer stuff. So,
and all the almanacs.
Right. It looks like we're definitely getting Griff Oberwald, so we theorize that we're going to get a Varag Gulchur plastic starter set. I think this is a really good idea.
Yeah.
I would love for them to do this without raising the price, because then it would feel like super valuable to people. People love to think they're getting something extra when they're not.
Yeah, of course.
So even if you threw one extra miniature in there and it's the same exact cost, you might get a lot more people trying the new Blood Bowl game. Or perceived value. Let's say the game goes up to $110, which it won't.
Yeah.
And you get a Griff, a Varg, and that referee model. People are going to go nuts.
And 2 extra teams and everything? Yeah, that's great. So, in the crash landing, like I said, it does look like you can throw prone players, so that's cool.
Okay, so maybe this is what somebody was talking about, where throwing into a cage is better. So you could just chunk a dude in there and hope that he bounces around?
Yeah, you always could.
Well, you could when they were standing up, but you can throw a prone player now.
Yeah, true. No more go for it. Now it's called rushing.
I heard it was called something else today, and I can't remember what it was called.
So we're all still going to call it go for it. But rushing, I don't hate. They do add special. They do add specialized rules for takebacks and halfling chefs to kind of give you more direction as when to things happen and how to do them. So that's good.
Tells you what? Take backs. Oh, just
Yeah,
like in
on
the
how it
game.
actually works. Yeah, if you have to take a skill back. So
Oh, okay.
it has a rule in there about if you did something, you need to take it back. It also has a rule in there about if you have too many people on the pitch and what to
Okay.
do then. So again, a lot of this is written for newer people. They do have
Um,
Joseph Bugman in there as a star player, or I guess an inducement.
and I guess in some of the fluff, it talked about how the NAF was dead, which led people to believe that the NAF was breaking up the tournament organization.
Yeah, that was
No, that
posted
stuff's been in
20.
there since the '94 edition.
Yeah, so many years ago.
That's just part of the fluff.
There is a new jump movement option, which we had back in the old days,
Yep,
to
every
skip
player could
over
lead.
a prone or stun player. You don't need a skill, it's just a modified agility roll. So we're not
Yeah.
sure exactly how that works, but I don't hate that.
Again, feels just like second edition all over again.
And there's something about stalling. So it's not complete, but it's in the German section. It talks about stalling, so there might be a penalty if you stall. Like if you meet certain criteria, maybe the
Yep.
crowd throws a rock at you, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was the Bonehead podcast that mentioned that their theory might be like the crowd throws a rock at you or something.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a 2 out of 6 chance, 1/3 chance that the rock hits you and you drop the ball or something like
And maybe
that.
it goes higher every turn that you stall or something. Who knows? I don't hate the idea because,
Well,
again, if you're looking at the fluff of the game, there's no logic in the fluff of the game for these guys to be sitting on the goal line waiting for the clock to run
no.
down.
And there's workaways. I mean, we played in the league for
Yeah.
10 seasons where we said, gentlemen's agreement, no stalling. If you've done everything you possibly can and you can move, you should.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how did people stall? They
Well-
instead of moving 6, they slowed their cage down and moved 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or
You did dumb blocks all the time.
they did some dumb block on the other side of the field and go, well, I guess I'll take a skull. And that was okay, right? Because they were still trying.
There was one time, I can't remember who it was, but someone did the stall, like, okay, 3 dice uphill, take your choice. And whoever it was like, okay, I take the push. And they're like, what? Oh, I take the push. Yeah, but there's a skull. Yeah, I take the push.
Yeah,
Now score.
exactly.
Oh,
I'll be interested to see what that stalling rule actually translates to and read the next page.
yeah.
Like if that goes into effect first or if you can throw blocks first.
Yeah.
Um,
So
interesting though.
that's pretty much all the changes that we've seen so far. And I don't have many issues. I mean, this is where we can critique it as much as we want. And I'm sure we'll agree on this. My main issue is that the increase of the passing skill just invalidated everything. Every spike, every card pack, everything that's come out is invalidated.
Let me tell you how much it invalidated it. I bought the card packs to support Blood Bowl. They don't really need my extra $25 a card pack. But you know how we are. When you're a fan of something, you think they need you and you want to be you want to belong.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, you want to support the store so he carries it and doesn't mind you hanging around and playing Blood Bowl leagues.
Yeah, for sure.
Running tournaments that, he can make more money running, Magic tournaments. So I bought the card packs. Today, I decided I'm getting rid of them. You know why? Because number one, I don't use the blank cards. Number two, I bought the cards in hopes that we sometime maybe would use the actual cards.
Mm-hmm. Or the star players.
Or the star players for new people. Either way, it didn't matter because I have the Spike magazines. I threw them all up and got $140 for them.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of them and I probably got ripped off. The person who was buying them is excited And like he says, our league uses all these cards, and this is going to help us because we just love the cards. I'm like, go for it. I don't care because they don't have the passing skill.
Yeah.
And all probably what we're going to get is more damn cards coming out through GW with the passing skill on them.
So we don't know if cards are even going to be used in the new set.
Well, we didn't see any, right?
Right. We didn't see anything. We didn't really see much of inducements either. So who knows? It's possible. But also, we did see, at least in the book, it does list star players. So I'm hoping it has every single star player so that we have all the updated skills. I also hope it's fixing, who they can play for, so every team has 10. That's probably just hoping too much.
Well, but what this invalidated too was, think about all the pitches we've made over the years, the custom pitches. Now, I know GW doesn't care about Scott Prime's pitches from Oklahoma Bowl, but we had kickoff tables on them.
And fame counter.
And all that stuff. And theoretically, the kickoff table's definitely gone.
Yeah.
And we're not sure on the fame thing, but
pretty sure
it's gone.
If it's not used in the kickoff table, where is it used? See, and also that's another thing. Like, that was for money. So is money changed now? Maybe winner gets D6 plus 2 automatically or something.
Yeah, it might be like a D6 plus, like you said, plus 2 if you win, and it's plus 0 if you don't win.
Right.
Something like that. We have no clue on that, and we'll see. But I decided to get rid of my cards just because, like, as a collector, I don't even know when I'd ever even pull them out because I didn't open. The only ones I ever opened was to review on the podcast. So I'd rather have that money in my pocket today.
You should switch me out the sealed ones with the unsealed ones.
Well, it's too late now. We can talk offline, and you can contact the guy who sold them to, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk.
Okay.
Anyways,
I mean, that's my main problem. I wish, like, day one, I realize they're not going to put all the rules up on the website because that would invalidate them putting out a giant new rule book. But it would be nice if they at least put out all the star players and said, are bad. All these that we put out, here's the corrections for them.
Here's what I think is going to happen, and people might not like this, and I hope that everybody can, email the podcast or tell me on Twitter or Facebook that I was wrong. I truly believe the new rules are going to have all the teams.
Yeah. It looks like they have at least 21 pages.
That were made in the newest editions.
Yeah, for sure.
What is that, 13 teams?
What? No. They've released most of them.
They have not released. I'm talking about, we're going to get Underworld. We're going to get... have you seen the list of teams in the book? So
no.
Maybe my information is invalid.
No, we haven't, but we've seen how many pages it is, and it's like 20, 21 pages.
That's the only thing I'm hopeful for. But with fluff, you could spread things out. I'm very scared that the teams from 2016 up that we've gotten models for will be the only teams in that book. If you wipe the slate clean, and they said in their ad, everything is playable, and they didn't say from 1994.
No,
they mean from 2016.
Yeah, the ones we don't have currently are Amazon, High Elf, Khemri, Necro, Norse, and Vampires. Although Necro has been told about.
Well,
so
they
haven't released figures. But, I mean, that's not that many. And if that means that they're going to be doing those next for the Spike, then yeah, that's fine. Leave them out. Spike Volume 2.
Are we going to get any more Spikes?
Don't know.
I mean, really, in theory, you got to start that over, I would assume. I don't know. As an old Blood Bowl player that thinks Blood Bowl doesn't necessarily need to be updated, I understand wanting to get fresh legs to it. That's why I'm not totally mad about this.
Yeah.
I'm never, just because I put that stuff online and sold it doesn't mean I'm going to quit Blood Bowl. That's not the case. I'll always play Blood Bowl. But what I've done nothing of the last 4 years, and probably Warhammer players are going to say, well, we've done it our whole life, is I've really tried to support Blood Bowl. And the corporate machine doesn't really care about my stuff. They just want me to keep spending. what this is probably really going to solve. I was talking to Drew about this. Is like I don't know if I'm going to buy any new Blood Bowl stuff besides stuff that comes with rules because I have so much. Most of it I don't use. I
Yeah.
don't know if they come out with a new, you know, I mean, I'll probably get the box set, so Savage Orcs, sure. But if they come out with a new vampire team or whatever else, even if they change all the positions up and there's a vampire blitzer and a vampire thrower, I'll probably just make do, piecemeal what I have here.
Yeah.
If they come out with cards, you better have something super special in there to really get me to buy cards because you just told me about these three great new teams. A month ago?
Yep.
And I spent my money on there, and it's invalid.
Yeah. Immediately.
Now, and I know they can't do this, if for let's say the last year we knew that like changes are coming one day in Blood Bowl, blah, 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 I probably still would have supported them almost the same way. I just wouldn't feel butthurt
Yeah.
today.
No, I understand. That's the biggest problem is, it just eliminates everything we just did. And that is frustrating.
The Spike magazines have no value to us except for fluff.
Yeah. Which is good enough for us, at least. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but I bought two of those, a lot of them, to support the store.
Yep. Well, you have a full set of spikes that you can sell now.
I do, and they probably will go along with me selling those cards. Now, I won't give such a great deal, but I'm also thinking about selling every set of dice. I have an extra set of every set of dice, and I'm thinking about just throwing them up too and selling them, getting some money now and sell them as a big giant lot.
Why?
What am I ever going to do? I'm in this bad phase of like,
oh, okay,
dude, you're almost 47. What are you going to do with all this crap? Especially if they're going to redo the game every 4 years.
Well, now's not a bad time to sell some of those dice. Put it that way.
What's that?
Said now is not a bad time to sell Dark Elf or Undead dice.
Oh, really?
Going for a lot.
Okay. Well, then I might need to consult you if I do this. I know games change. Like the Warhammer guy at the store, he goes, be happy. Your game doesn't do this all the time. Like you had some dead time where this didn't happen.
Yeah.
It happens every 3 to 4 years to us. And we just buy our armies and go on. And in some ways, I feel kind of like I'm in a battered relationship with this game.
It's not the first time you've said that.
And with board games, I buy board games. And yes, every 10 years or something, if the board game is still successful, they come out with, Seven Wonders second editions about to come out. They're going to put new art and new revised rules. I get that. But I guess I should look at it as, well, I still can play with the old rules if I want.
Yeah.
The problem with like Blood Bowl or Magic or Dragon Ball Super or these games where you have a community is almost everybody gravitates to the newest rules.
Of course, yeah.
So it'd be really hard to find people to go play second edition with. Or third edition with.
To me, I think, Blood Bowl did very well. I think it's done extremely well as a computer game. And they just really wanted to make it easier. We've talked to so many people that have played the computer game, and when they look at the real rules, have no clue what's going on.
I agree with that.
So I think this is probably going to help a lot to transition people from the video game, which we saw last year that there was going to be a Blood Bowl 3 put out by whoever it was.
And then it got pulled.
Right. The tweet got pulled immediately after I even got a Twitter message from them like, yeah, we'll be happy to give you more information. And then they never replied again.
Right.
So I think it's good. As I've seen it now, they're trying to tweak the passing game. I don't have any issues with that. They're trying to make it easier for people to understand. I don't have any issue with that. They're trying to make it a little less deadly. I can understand that. I don't have a huge issue with it. So overall, with what I've seen, I'm very cautiously optimistic. I'm with you though. I'm probably going to buy the box set. I'll buy the rules. New teams come out? Maybe. Dice? I'll buy dice. Cards and stuff from now on? No.
No, I don't. I
Just
don't
wait
see
until the
any.
rules change and I'll buy them for $5 each.
Exactly. um,
All a month from now, every single one of these card boxes sealed is going to be on eBay for $5 or $10.
oh, you're right. I mean, like, I messaged you today. Like, I might as well sell my stuff now.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm keeping mine for collectible, but you might as well.
Yeah.
If you don't care. And you're right. The only bad thing is like I listed them and they were gone almost instantly. So it's like one of those things like you put something up on eBay and you wish you would have asked for more.
Yeah.
But I'm, I guess, cautiously optimistic too. I remember when, third edition came out and I was not too happy. And then after playing it for a while, I was like, this is a better game. Again, I really wish I hope they really have play tested this a bunch.
Yeah.
I feel the way the rules look, I think passing is not going to be more prevalent. I think throwers will be more important and passing will not be as prevalent as people think. I don't know. We're going to find out about these injuries and everything else. We're going to find more information as it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't want another Imperial human team or whatever it's called. I really thought when I first saw this, Steve, that like Imperial humans were just going to be humans.
Yeah.
Just renamed with this new edition. And Savage Orcs was going to be, or Orcs were going to be named Savage Orcs because they did that with all their Warhammer stuff too. They're just not, this type of elf. It gives a real name for it so they can copyright it and own it.
Yeah, of course.
So that's where I thought we were going to get maybe with this. I really wish they would have broken the mold though and gave us two different teams besides a human and orc team, even though we're probably going to get a different human team and a different orc team.
No, all along we've said Amazons and Norse would be amazing because it gives you female players. It gives you two semi, sort of mirror teams.
I'm starting to think we won't ever get Amazons or Norse. We will maybe get a northern human team, but not Norse and Amazons in the same
There
way.
are regional specific rules. Every team now has special rules, and we don't know what those are.
Tim Lyons was telling me about that.
So,
what do you even think that means?
I don't know. It is possible that we have human teams, and then instead of Amazon and Norse, you have an Amazon variation where they all come with dodge. You have a Norse variation where they all come with block. I don't know.
Well,
it could mean anything. There's no reason to speculate because who knows.
I'm standing by that. I think the only teams that exist currently are the ones they made models for since 2016. Like you won't even see a mention of the other ones. But
no, I think we will. They've mentioned them last time too, and
but
they've mentioned them since
edition.
then. So they've all been mentioned at some point. It's just a matter of we haven't seen much.
I brought up today. I asked remember the coaches packet that came with the little rule book with the typos.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe this explains why they didn't give a big crap about all those mistakes.
True.
They said thank you for your money.
Yeah, and
then they socked me in the face again.
That's what we said at the time too. Is it made no sense if we knew a new edition was coming around the corner. Now I hope they learned from that, and this one has no mistakes. Because I'm with you. If this has no mistakes and everything's good, that goes a long way into making me like this. But if on page 5 a keg is 50K, and on page 8 it's 30K because they didn't bother to check, no.
Yeah, I mean, I can almost accept typos in a word. You misspell weird by transversing the I and the E. I can accept that a lot more than like number things that people are going to argue about.
Mm-hmm. Like if that really does say +1 strength is 80, but then they come back and go, oh, we meant 50. Sorry, we hit the wrong button. Oh, thanks. You just messed everything up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With I guess a positive I thought about, and this goes back to like, if they're going to do Imperial humans and we have regular humans and we have an old world alliance, this could open us up to a Kislev team or the circus team or whatever to get slammed back in.
Yeah, I'd be down for a Kislev.
I told Gary, who just purchased the Slan team and is paying to get him painted because he said so much fun playing him on Fumble. I said, I hate to tell you this, but we've probably seen the death knell for sure on Slan. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, all those teams, the new teams are going to have passing skills. This one doesn't have a passing skill. So it'd be up to the community to deem what is right or wrong.
Yeah.
And I said, I said, it's really easy for the NAF to say, we'll take the old Slan rules and just keep them going versus we're going to make up new Slan rules and keep it going.
Yeah, it really is. Now, possibly Kislev shows up in Blood Bowl 3 and they exist and we don't have to worry about it. Although I don't think Khorne showed up in Blood Bowl 2. I might have. I don't know. Can't remember. But if it does,
I'd be very happy if this was really Bretonnians and Khorne that we're getting.
I would too. That'd be awesome.
Or a variance of, I guess I should say. I really hope the new human team's not broken like everybody said.
The way it was listed was pretty broken.
In the old app? Okay.
Yeah. But again, if they've taken feedback, then hopefully that doesn't happen.
Well, I really hope they have real Blood Bowlers who play the game all the time, not in the studio once a week. You know.
Well, I mean, if it's people like Andy Davo and Jay Bone and people they've had in the magazine, probably good.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
anything else?
I guess everybody wants us to be negative, I'm sure. We're not negative.
No, I'm honestly looking forward to it. I just want to see it all, and then I can nitpick a lot easier.
This just puts the cherry on the cake, on the top of the cake for the year 2020 with everything weird going on. What this really kills is our store league, and I think it's going to really kill our store league.
Why?
If we ever get to play again, because we already had a hard enough time getting some people to just buy a damn rule book.
Yeah, but if it's easier to understand now, maybe.
Well, maybe. I hope so.
Don't know.
I mean, like the league that we had to stop because of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, it might never get finished now.
See, it's going to be a big strain on Fumble too, because some people are going to hate it and not want to play the new rules. So are they going to have old and new rules?
I read a post from Mike Davies who mentioned, like, stat wise, he said this would be a good time for the NAF to just clean slate everything and archive it as Blood Bowl 16.
Yep.
Or even have different categories. Now you can go to a tournament that's Blood Bowl 16 or a tournament that's Blood Bowl 2020. And that's going to change a lot of people's rankings that they've been sitting on for years and years and years and years.
Which I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
That needs a whole overhaul anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot.
So, if you need some Spike magazines and got some cash, you might give me a holler.
Well, since this is coming so far or so close after the last one, I don't think we need any shout outs, do we?
Oh, I don't think there's really many shout outs at all.
No.
Shout out to the people who's mentioned me. Oh, I need to do the thing, right? Shout outs.
I've tried to get away from it, but okay.
Shout out to the people who we've been talking over the last few days.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to hear how people want to hear your opinion on stuff.
Yeah, it was funny. I posted about the leak, and I was like, I don't really want to post leaks, but this came out. If you want to go look at the Blood Bowl community, and someone's like posting about something you didn't want to post, huh? And then still posting about it, I go, valid point. But we were getting a ton of messages from people who were like, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? And we love it. We appreciate it. But yeah.
I love the doomsayers who were like, it's definitely a fake. And I'm like, dude, there's so much work into this that it's no way a fake.
And could someone do it? Sure. Would they? God, I'd hope not. And if they did, I want to hire them because the art is awesome.
Yeah.
That cover art's awesome.
Anyways, I think this will wrap it up. I appreciate everybody listening. Hope we didn't give you any misinformation.
We probably did. Who knows?
I guess we will see you next time.
You can follow Both Down on Twitter at Both Down. You can follow Scott at Fat Finley, FATFINLEY, and Steve at Kilowog2814. If you want to know if your team name is Both Down approved, send a tweet to @BDapproved. If you'd like to email them, the email address is bothdownpodcast@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or at facebook.com/bothdown.
Blood Bowl. It's in our blood. Just saying his name gets us all fired up. We've been playing since we were kids. Blue sky above you, roar of the crowd in your ears. Ain't nothing better. Sure, some of your opponents are big and mean and green, but that's just part of the fun. Sometimes we think the golden age is behind us. We've had the best of it all, and that just ain't so. It's time to dust off those cleats, strap on those shoulder spikes, and get ready for the next season. Your next league is right around the corner.